attached to contact that most of you, or at least some of you, will not be aware of, and it's a very important part of this phenomena. These are some of the artwork by another experiencer. The one that you saw previously to that was as much as 1.5 meters long and 0.5 meters wide, but then she does ones that are postcard size. The process is that she wakes up in the night, suddenly feels this huge impulse to start drawing this kind of material. She feels a wonderful sense of euphoria, and she isn't satisfied until they're done. It's almost like she's being used as a conduit to bring through this information. One of the things that the experience has told me is often those little scripts or symbols, multi-dimensionally, would, for example, just one of them alone, would fill this room with encyclopedias in terms of its information. So one symbol, multi-dimensionally, would contain that amount of information, which is absolutely fascinating. So what kind of other kind of information, or how does it come through with people that have these experiences? There's a lady who only in the last few years, unfortunately, has died, that wrote 2 books about her experiences, Dana Redfield. And 2 of them, one of them called Summoned, and the other one was called Human ET Link. She was very aware of her experiences, but she also talked about going into a place where she was learning about telepathy. And one of the things was that she was trying to get a sense of how telepathy worked through many of her drawings. And this is what she said. She said, communication and understanding for her was about codes and frequencies. She had drawn many complex drawings to do with these codes and scripts and language. And she said that some of them show gateways or portals. And at the time I understood it, but couldn't retain conscious understanding. I really tried to leave notes or tracks so that I could understand them later, but it didn't work. It's contact communication. I've got so much, but it gets buried. And she goes in to say, it's like working mid-plane between human language and mathematics and the higher laws of communication and creation. It began working with letters and numbers. And she said certain words are like concept fields. And she said it's too large to be comprehended by the uninitiated mind. So she said that it was like unpuzzling a kind of art linguistic sacred geometry. This one, for example, she interprets as showing pathways through the house of life to higher states of being. This one, House of Life, she said, is similar to the Kabbalah tree of life. It was given to me, and I use it in many ways to glean things beyond what the linear logo school brain can understand. As you can see, they can be quite complex. This one, she said, it relates back to Egypt and the human body, and man's journey through time. In a word, she says, like alphabets are like part of our energetic physiology. This one, the inner eye, is a geometric polyhedron trying to map a process. So she's talking about trying to understand from a conscious level something that she's learning in this other state of being. And she said this one also, it concerns evoking soul and spirit and evolutionary patterns beyond personality, earth, time and space. The star wheel, she said, are tools or potentials as I explored new mind fields. Skiosis is like corridors and portal paths. And when they were created, I was in an altered state. I felt like I was seeing a big picture, a design behind our lives and all created things. And she said it's like being slowly infused with a new kind of light that is changing the very links and pathways of the brain. The very links and pathways of the brain, very important. It's complex, it's like a complicated map of my journey of adapting to a new consciousness.